Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. This really has been the greatest honor of my life, having the honor to talk about Descendants and Zombies, because Descendants and Zombies was a story that inspired millions of people to believe in themselves, to become stronger, to stand up in the face of adversity, no matter what the consequence, no matter what anybody thought of you. People became stronger and became closer together because of Descendants and Zombies. Some of the most beautiful friendships of all time have happened because of Descendants and Zombies, and there's no denial coming from me as the host of a show on YouTube devoted and dedicated to Descendants and Zombies fans, because this is the greatest honor of my life, along with having the honor of meeting each and every one of you. So to show you the respect and the lineage of Descendants and Zombies that it's deserved for forever and always, I have made the decision to dedicate my life to uploading Descendants and Zombies videos, even if that means for the rest of my life, because here's my issue with the videos that you're watching on YouTube. It's just criticism by people who don't respect Descendants and Zombies and don't respect all of you. And I've wanted to create something special for everybody for a very long time, and Descendants and Zombies has given me that chance. It's presenting me with the honor of being your voice of Descendants and Zombies to help you make sense of everything Descendants and Zombies and to tell you stories. And because I love telling stories, this was the perfect opportunity for me to come back after a 5-year hiatus and come back with such prestige and honor, talking about a franchise that you guys have loved for forever and always, that you wish could last for forever. After nearly 7 years, I hadn't recorded a podcast until a girl showed up at my door one year on Halloween and persuaded me to create a show about Descendants and Zombies because it was a franchise that she loved so much and held a special place in her heart for forever and always. After she ran off into the night after getting a treat from me, I took it under consideration, and I came back with a huge response because of each and every one of you. And I quickly realized that you guys were the most respectful fans in the entire world. And I've honored you ever since by creating Descendants and Zombies videos, believing that this really has been the greatest honor of my life. Regardless of what direction life takes me in or what becomes of me and my legacy, I know I will never forget each and every one of you, so the best gift that I can give you and the greatest honor I can show you is by talking about your favorite stars the way they've been meant to be talked about for really a decade. And that is with respect, honor, and the dignity to solidify their legacies, because that's what I want to do. That's what I'm here to do, is to ensure that I will solidify their legacies as some of the greatest of all time, because that's all I've ever wanted to go down in history for having been, is the greatest of all time. So because I wanted to go down in history for being one of the greatest of all time, so too will they. And how I will ensure that is by uploading thousands of videos about Descendants and Zombies, even if that's what that means for the rest of my life. But I can't do that without your help. So I'm asking you, if you're watching this video for the first time and you have not subscribed to this YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button and please like the video, because your love and support for this YouTube channel is something this YouTube channel cannot do without. I cannot do without it, because the greatest honor of my life was creating these videos for fans of a franchise that changed lives, that inspired millions of people. And I think that never enough nice things can be said about people like Kylie Cantrell, who have done a fabulous job ever since donning the character Red in the Descendants franchise, bringing the young Queen of Hearts daughter Red to life in a way nobody else would have ever been able to do it, because she was so fearless, she was so strong, she didn't care what anybody thought of her. I don't think really anybody who was ever a character for Descendants cared what anybody thought of them. Only the fans, which you guys received really well, and with such honor and prestige, because you saw yourself through your favorite idols and your favorite characters. My favorite character in Descendants, for those of you who are new here, is Bridget, because Bridget represented kindness and how far kindness can touch a person's life and how far kindness can really go. And she really inspired me to become a better person, because oftentimes throughout my radio career, I wasn't the easiest guy to get along with. I was in a lot of situations that I didn't want to be in. I was talking to a lot of people I didn't want to be talking to. And these characters really allowed me to, change my perspective on life and really turn my life around when I least expected it. Because I was providing commentary in a lot of different niches that didn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Video games, TV, movies, what have you. And then from out of nowhere, here comes Descendants and Zombies, and it has a profound impact on my heart and really changed my perspective on life. And because I love to tell stories, which is what Descendants and Zombies has always represented, because of stories of your favorite Disney princesses like Aurora from Sleeping Beauty, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, the Evil Queen from Snow White, this presented the perfect opportunity for me to have my voice heard by a whole new generation of Disney fans. And I've been a part of every generation of Disney that there's ever been to be a part of. And it's been the greatest honor of my life. I can remember times throughout the Disney Revolution that many of you are too young to remember, like when The Nightmare Before Christmas made its initial premiere on a black VHS cassette tape, and that wasn't yesterday, in a black case. It came in a black jewel case. I remember being there when it was put on the shelf at Walmart and buying my first copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas, produced by Tim Burton. I also can remember possessing my first copy of the Beauty and the Beast animated classic from 1991, and how valuable that production became to so many lives who have been a part of that production. I remember Angela Lansbury as the voice of Miss Potts, and of course Robbie Benson as the voice of the Beast. His powerful portrayal of the Beast really set this one on fire, and the beautiful portrayal done by Peggy O'Hara of the Princess Belle in that movie, and how revered she would go on to become. I really do believe there are a lot of princesses stories that have yet to be told in the Descendants franchise, like Jasmine, that I will forever present an argument for, and the story between herself and Aladdin, which we saw for the first time being introduced to Descendants fans in the Life is Sweeter When You Are music video as two of the over 14 characters that were featured in that music video. Because of the history of Aladdin and Jasmine and having such a lineage and a legacy, I think that their story would add a lot of unpredictable moments to the Descendants franchise. I, for one, would love to see Rudd and Chloe partake in an adventure in the Cave of Wonders, or just venture to Agrabah to deal with whatever circumstances they would be faced with. I think a lot of adversity would be encountered by Chloe and Red. I think it would be a whole lot of fun. I would also like to see them in Halloween Town, perhaps Olympus. I say this because there are so many worlds in the Descendants franchise that have yet to be uncovered and discovered by Red and Chloe that they've never traveled to before, that would really test their friendship. And I think that when they see their friendship finally being tested with the greatest challenges of all time yet to be seen in the Descendants franchise, from Agrabah, Halloween Town, perhaps Atlantica, Olympus, so many distant worlds, probably Arendelle from Frozen even. This is why I say I'd love to be the producer of the Descendants franchise, the producer and the writer of this thing, because I would really use my creative energy in a way that no other writer or producer for Descendants ever has. I guess it's because of something having to do with the budget. I really don't know. But for those of you who believe that this story is far from is seeing its dramatic conclusion, this story really is far from over. And that's the best way I can put it to you guys who are being led to be convinced by all these critics on YouTube that this story is reaching its conclusion. This story really is far from over. Because I've been a fan, I say this because I've been a fan of fairy tales for forever, and I've studied folk literature all of my life, and there are a lot of characters that a lot of people tend to forget about in these franchises that are never really shown the respect or given the acknowledgement that they deserve, because there are so many characters from the Alice in Wonderland franchise alone that haven't even seen their introduction into the Descendants franchise, and with how Wonderland now has become such a valuable commodity in the Descendants franchise, the question still remains, where is Alice? Or where is Alice's daughter? I've been waiting on Alice to see her introduction into the Descendants franchise ever since the character Red and Chloe were first introduced to the franchise, and their friendship had been faced with so many different circumstances and predicaments they had to help each other out of. And that's really what The Rise of Red focused on, was their friendship and how much value was put behind that friendship. It wasn't really tested. So I think by the time Descendants 5 Wicked Wonderland touches down on all of our hearts, their friendship is going to be tested in ways that it's never been tested before. There will probably be some conflict. For sure, there will be conflict with Red's new sister Pink as one of the consequences of time travel being felt. One of many consequences, because it's not going to be the only consequence, like how the Queen of Hearts now is good all of a sudden. What's going to become of that, I really don't know, because I always remember the Queen of Hearts for being this really annoying character. And I really agreed with people who were leaving comments on my YouTube channel originally many months back, when they were saying that the Queen of Hearts was one of the most revered characters of all time because of how incredibly annoying she was. Well, the answer to that is, the Queen of Hearts was created with the sole purpose of being annoying, and her purpose was fulfilled. And it remained true in The Rise of Red. I liked how Rita Ora put her own spin on the Queen of Hearts, but she's forever and always going to remain annoying. She forever and always has remained annoying, and Rita Ora just brought her to life in a way nobody else had ever been able to do. Just a couple of nights ago, actually, I played the new season of Disney Speedstorm, which is inspired by Alice in Wonderland characters, and one of your racers in that game actually is the Queen of Hearts. And it brought back fond memories of how I used to watch Alice in Wonderland when I was 5 years old for the first time, and being extremely annoyed by the Queen of Hearts voice. And I think that if you would have brought somebody else in to do the portrayal of the Queen of Hearts, I don't think it would have been done as effectively as what Rita Ora was able to do it. Rita Ora and Brandy are such icons that have brought people like Cinderella and the Queen of Hearts to life for many, many years. And I think people like Clarke and Malia Baker have forever remained inspired by them and will forever remain inspired by them for many, many years to come. Again, if you have been led to believe that this story is reaching its conclusion, or has reached its conclusion, then obviously you're believing what the critics are trying to make you believe. And I don't want to provide you with criticism. I want to convince you that Descendants by Book of Wonderland will present us with an intriguing plot which will lead us into the foreseeable future. Because even with Descendants by Book of Wonderland scheduled for release next summer, that doesn't mean the story is over. That's just going to set us up for a third movie of this franchise, because if the original trilogy meant so much to our hearts, so too can this one. And we can see an expansion off this movie for another movie which could set up for this one to also get in history for being a revered franchise, with a trilogy being to its credit. And I just want to make sure that that happens, so that's why I'm uploading all these videos about Descendants and Zombies, because I realize the potential of this franchise, how creative these stars are to bring all these characters to life, and how much they too believe in a franchise that has meant so much to each and everyone's heart who has ever said they were a fan of Descendants and Zombies. I really wanted to present these videos with a certain prestige and honor that a lot of people don't really have with their videos when it comes to Descendants and Zombies. They say, this is cool, I like this, I really didn't like this so much. They rank the songs, their favorite moments, and they offer you no explanation as to why. So this is a very different take on Descendants and Zombies. This is a very different analogy. I've been referred to as a Descendants analyst. I've been called many different things over the years. But my greatest honor, regardless of what I've been referred to as a critic, an analyst, is knowing all of you, because you guys have become some of my best friends. You're the ones I tell everything to. You're the ones that I tell stories that relate to Descendants in my own life going on, and that have happened to me over the course of the last, dare I say, 30 years. I can remember watching Alice in Wonderland when I used to be sick, drinking chicken noodle soup and Cinderella in front of this huge TV in my living room, and I watched these larger-than-life princesses tell stories about their lives, inspired by what would happen to them in Wonderland, or Happily Ever After. It was experiences that I will never ever forget. I pretty much was raised on Disney, so everything that happened in Disney over the course of the last 30 years or longer, I remember, and I remember being a part of it. And when I say I was raised on Disney, I had everything from Alice in Wonderland stuffies to Aladdin underwear. I had everything. Mickey Mouse boxers. You can get by the Mickey Mouse merchandise I have in the back there. I was a really big fan of Disney and their merch and what they were promoting. I remember being there for the premieres of Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast many years ago. So I just wanted to share that passion with each and every one of you on this show. And I like to believe one way or another I was able to do that, along with reaching and touching the hearts of so many wonderful fans of Descendants and Zombies, while I show it the appreciation and the sentimental value that we all remember the franchise for, regardless if we remember the original stars, Dove Cameron, Sophia Carson, Cameron Boyce, or the new stars of the franchise that is taking the world by storm, Kylie, Ruby Rose Turner, Malia Baker, and what have you. Icons like Brandy and Rita Ora, fabulous, fabulously done. The thing that I notice about these podcast interviews that interview the stars of the franchise is it's so... it's the obvious questions that are asked. It's the same probably repetitive 10 questions on repeat all the time. And the interviews don't really seem to be that much intriguing. You don't really seem to be intrigued by the interview because it's the same 10 repetitive questions on repeat. I, for one, would love to have the opportunity to meet these stars, interview them, and really showcase them for what they are, because I know everything there is to know about these Descendant stars. I know how Freya Sky likes to have plain cheeseburgers at McDonald's. I do too. You haven't lived until you spend all night DJing and end up at a McDonald's drive-thru at 3 a.m. and are craving a plain cheeseburger at McDonald's. I used to DJ for many years before I was a radio show host. I think there was a point in time in my life when I was a DJ and a radio show host at the same time, so that presented a lot of challenges that I had to overcome, and one of those challenges was not craving a cheeseburger at 3 a.m. after DJing in some club somewhere. So I can kind of relate to Freya Sky for her passion for plain cheeseburgers at McDonald's, playing board games and video games, as you can get from my video game collection. In the back there, I have every major title on PS4 and PS5. I know for certain, most certain, I have every major title on PS4 and PS5. The prices of video games now are ridiculous. I, for one, would love to see a video game for a computer, probably PC, Steam, or major video game platform consoles, inspired on Descendants, because I remember years ago how Disney used to have their most popular franchises inspire some of their top-selling video games like Hannah Montana. How many Hannah Montana video games did Disney ever release? Wizards of Waverly Place even had a video game. iCarly had a video game. On Nintendo DS, I think it was, iCarly had their video game. In later years, we had Victorious. In the latter years of the Nickelodeon success, Victorious had 2 video games on Xbox 360 and Nintendo DS. I think it was called Hollywood Arts Debuts. And now Disney has kind of moved out of that and just promoted their franchises now with t-shirts, sweaters, and hoodies, and posters. That's not good enough. I think that if you're going to expose your Disney stars, then expose them in ways of using media the right way and using technology the right way to promote them. Just don't, drag them out onto a stage every single night and perform in front of a different venue every night for 43 arena dates and think that's good enough. If you're going to, promote it with a concert, have a leg 2 of the tour so more people can have an opportunity to see this show for what it's really worth is, which is a phenomenal amount. It's overflowing with talent, it's overflowing with energy, and I think more exposure for it is exactly what the tour needs and what the fans of it who were shut out of the initial tour needs. So if you're looking for a guy to promote Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour happening, look no further than Jonathan Clarke, because I'm here to tell you guys, I fully support the tour. I want this tour to have a Leg 2. I want to see it in places like the UK, Australia, and Germany, because the global market is outstanding. It is phenomenal. The energy is at an all-time high. The crowds are very different from American and Canadian crowds, and the response that Kylie Cantrell and Freya Sky will receive, beautiful. And I look forward to all the videos uploaded on YouTube about this. I know people are YouTubing. I pay attention to the trends, paying really close attention in particular to the UK searches for Descendants. People are already YouTubing the UK tour rumors for Descendants to Zombies, and it hasn't even happened yet. God love you guys, because it just goes to show how supportive each and every one of you are of the Descendants of Zombies franchise. That's why I say you deserve better videos on YouTube than what you've been watching. Because, let's face it, you're watching the same 5 videos. If you have any favorite video of Descendants whatsoever, it probably ranks from 1 to 5. You have a top 5 list of the same 5 videos you're watching every night. And that's another reason behind why I created this YouTube channel. So you'll always have something new. It may be a guy's opinion about Descendants of Zombies with a scattered reaction video thrown in there for every once in a while. But at least you'll have something new about Descendants of Zombies to look forward to every day, which should give you even more of a reason and incentive to hit my subscribe and my like button. Because I will never go away, nor will I ever let you down. Because I think there is a certain pride and a passion that goes with talking about Descendants of Zombies. And if you have that pride and that passion that goes with talking about Descendants of Zombies, then you can take your videos further, which means they'll reach out and touch the hearts of more people than ever before. And let me tell you, I've had the honor of touching the hearts of so many wonderful people because of Descendants of Zombies. Regardless if you remember being a fan of Descendants of Zombies from the music or the powerful script, or being a fan of the star, or idolizing somebody like Dove Cameron or Kylie Cantrell, I just wanted to honor you. And I wanted to create videos that you would feel inspired by. And somewhere, somehow, I like to believe that I followed through on that promise. Do you guys remember the very first promise I made to you when I uploaded my very first video on Descendants of Zombies over a year ago? I promised you that I would have at least one video every day about Descendants of Zombies. And if there's one guy on YouTube that has held to his promise and came true on his promise, it was this guy. And I want to let you guys know that even though we're going to be seeing a lot of criticism and critical reviews posted about Descendants by Book of Wonderland next summer, I'm going to be right there with you guys. So if you are faced with criticism and you don't like the videos that you're watching, you can always depend on me to come through with a great video on Descendants of Zombies. And if you want to hear something nice about your favorite stars, then I think you should subscribe to this YouTube channel, or at least do me the honor of thinking about subscribing to this YouTube channel with your hand on your chin like that. Should I subscribe to this guy? Trust me, you're going to love it here on this YouTube channel, because I honor every one of your favorite stars, all the moments that have meant something to them in their own individual lives, and everything critical about Descendants of Zombies. Because I remember all the criticism the Zombies franchise received when Zombies 4 Dawn of the Vampires premiered. Months before the movie premiered, people were criticizing the music videos without even giving them a chance. And I just wanted to do something about that. So I took to my YouTube channel. I started uploading videos about Descendants of Zombies, and lo and behold, my videos exploded overnight. I have no idea why my videos exploded overnight. They just did. And I got a couple of thousand views on 2 or 3 videos I uploaded about Dove Cameron, I think it was. And every video that I uploaded about Descendants of Zombies thereafter exploded and took off. And I have each and every one of you to thank for that, because I honestly don't know where I would be without your guys' love and support. I've already been talking about Descendants of Zombies for over 20 minutes on this podcast tonight. This is my second podcast that I've uploaded today, and I'm so honored to create all these beautiful podcasts for each and every one of you. If anything, this podcast is the official Descendants of Zombies podcast. That's another issue that I have with Disney.com. They'll create all these podcasts about Disneyland attractions, or Marvel.com will have their official Marvel podcast every Wednesday uploaded to their official website. But with how many fans we have for Descendants of Zombies, we don't have an official Descendants of Zombies podcast. So I guess Disney's leaving that honor and that responsibility, that distinction, on yours truly, which I have no issues with. It's just, I think you guys have deserved the Descendants of Zombies podcast official for a very long time, and for far long enough now. And it's nice to know that somebody, yours truly, is finally coming through on giving you that podcast and talking about the content, your favorite moments, your favorite stars, your favorite songs, the way they were meant to be talked about. Because if I tell you I was a fan of Rewrite the Stars, then you had better believe I was a fan of Rewrite the Stars. Everything from how it was choreographed, how they used the green screen to show they were flying and showcase them in a way they had never been showcased before. I think that was a beautiful duet to introduce us to Victor and Nova, and how they had seen each other in their dreams ever before they met really set this thing up so perfectly. And I think that no other two characters have been set up so perfectly to meet and be introduced to a global audience as part of a franchise for the foreseeable future than how Victor and Nova were introduced to us. I think that we still have a lot of unanswered questions about the future of Victor and Nova, but that presents a lot of interesting things yet to happen for the Zombies franchise. And by the time Zombies 5 happens, regardless of what's inside of that vortex, which I would voluntarily jump inside of just to discover and uncover what's inside of it and come back and tell you guys. And I think I'm the only guy on YouTube that's actually voluntarily offered to jump inside of this vortex to find out if indeed mermaids are inside of this thing, which is the #1 prediction right now on prediction forums and discussion forums online. It's got to be mermaids, right? I, for one, have loved stories about mermaids for forever. God, I can talk about Descendants of Zombies for hours. Because I live on an island that has a lot of stories associated with mermaid tales. Now, I've never actually met a mermaid. I've met a lot of girls that I thought probably had a chance of being a mermaid and that I could have fallen in love with, but nothing ever fell through for me. I would love to meet a mermaid. I would love to go on a mermaid excursion and encounter a mermaid. So if ever the opportunity to jump inside of a speedboat with probably Victor driving or Nova driving, I would love to go on a mermaid excursion. I would also love to encounter pirates and do the whole thing where I manned the canyon and open fire. I've always wanted to do that. Live a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of lifestyle for me. Yo-ho, a pirate's life for me. Sign me up for the Zombies franchise. Hit the subscribe button to get Jonathan Clarke in on this action, because I've always wanted to live a Tom Cruise kind of lifestyle, or a Johnny Depp, Captain Jack Sparrow kind of lifestyle. I'd miss the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise, guys. I have to be honest with each and every one of you. I can never say enough good things about franchises of the past, like Twilight and the Vampire Diaries and Pirates of the Caribbean. Man, growing up in the 1990s was so fun, because Goosebumps, Are You Afraid of the Dark, Power Rangers, Nickelodeon was at an all-time high with shows like Doug and Rugrats and Rocko's Modern Life, which many of you perhaps are too young to remember. But I grew up in a cool generation, a cool era, if you would. I was a millennial, so I grew up from 1986 to 2000, and I saw, entertainment at its highest points. I saw Disney in some of its most triumphant eras because of franchises like The Lion King, Aladdin, and their explosion. I remember being there for all their premieres and never feeling so honored to have covered as much as what I have. I've been doing this for a really long time. I've been on YouTube a lot longer than many of you have been alive, and a lot of video producers that you're watching videos of that create Descendants and Zombies videos for you guys. And the thing is, it's really the greatest honor of my life. I've had a lot of opportunities in my lifetime, but I would sacrifice all those opportunities just to talk about Descendants and Zombies for the rest of my life, because being in your guys' presence really has been so much fun and the greatest honor of my life. And if I can do your favorite franchise justice, then I'll give it justice, and I will show it the respect that it deserves, because I don't agree with Kylie Control crying. I don't agree with Ruby Rose Turner having tears in her eyes because she shut down for roles, or how Meg Donnelly feels upset because she was turned down for the role of Supergirl, which was a 30-second role in the new Superman movie. Let me tell you guys something. This is the reality of it. I went to see the new Superman movie about 2.5 weeks ago, and I was heartbroken over how Millie Alcott portrayed the young Supergirl, because she was so disrespectful. She didn't know how to play Supergirl, from my opinion, or how I choose to look at it, because I always remembered Supergirl being a fearless character who didn't care what anybody thought of her. Not this disrespectful punk that Millie Alcott portrayed Supergirl for having been in the new Superman franchise. Let me just put it to you like this. The new spin on Superman really sucks. So Meg Donnelly shouldn't be heartbroken over being shut down for that role, which was pretty much just a 2-minute cameo that Supergirl made with the dog Krypto. And I felt watching that movie, there was more emphasis on Krypto than there was Superman in the movie, because for at least 85% of that movie, Superman was getting the shit kicked out of him. And in all honesty, it really upset me. So I think that these stars should be looking past all the criticism they have received, and I think what they should be looking at is a more promising future, because they do have promising futures in store for them. Like how I've often given Freya Sky praise for being the next Taylor Swift, because I really do believe that she is going to be the next Taylor Swift. Regardless of how people may feel about her, she has 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's how that all started for Taylor Swift 20 years ago, was it not? Taylor Swift was just somebody performing in local bars before being picked up by an agent that mysteriously showed up in a bar one night, and then Taylor Swift became a legend, a superstar overnight, a megastar, if you would. I see that potential existing in the heart of Freya Sky, because she believes in zombies just as much as you believe in Freya Sky, which I think is really cool. The love and support that you guys have shown Descendants and Zombies is truly unprecedented, and unlike anything I've ever experienced in my life, which is why I say forever and always, this has been the greatest honor of my life, to be able to sit here for over a half hour and talk about Descendants and Zombies every night for the rest of my life. I have dedicated my life to talking about Descendants and Zombies, and I've had no regrets since. So if you too are a fan of Descendants and Zombies, perhaps you're somebody who has yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel and you're thinking about subscribing to this YouTube channel, I think you should. Because I have so many stories, I can go on for hours about Descendants and Zombies and being fans of these fairy tale characters and having a greater appreciation for them. The description does not lie, because by the end of every video that you watch on this YouTube channel, you will have a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, and that's one thing I can guarantee you. I can't guarantee you a lot of things, or make a lot of guarantees on everything, but I can guarantee you on that you will have a greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies and be so grateful and never feel so honored than ever before than you will after watching this video to have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because I will offer it the prestige and the review and the respect that it's deserved for a very long time. But I can't do it without you guys, so it would be, if you would do me the honor of subscribing to this YouTube channel, that would be really cool. Guys, keep Descendants and Zombies in your hearts. Keep showing it the love and respect it deserves, because this story is far from over. One should never believe what the critics are trying to convince you, because we still have a long way to go, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. Thank you guys so much.